Good morning. We're here today with my good friend and fellow researcher, Dr. Robert Cassar, and we've put together a morning elixir tea. And
morning breakfast, super breakfast
tea.
Yeah.
And the first component of it, and we're going to do the simple version, and then we're going to do my favorite, which is again the answer to coffee as energy and like an instant breakfast. And the replacement for coffee that we use is Yerba Mate tea, which is simple. You just boil the water and let it steep, and you have the tea. So we're going to start with some Yerba Mate.
You can do yerba mate, remember, two ways. You can either steep it overnight, put about 4 drops of fulvic acid in with it because it really helps it leach. This is, we brewed this one just because wanted to do it right now for you. But actually the way I like to do it and the way we all do it, the best is overnight brewed. And then in the morning, strain it out and you're ready to go. So that's your base. Beautiful detoxification tea. It's not even like, see, most coffees and things, they sort of don't help you nutrify your system. They really stress your system.
Absolutely.
This cuts down your stress a lot because you'll see the products like the Ultimate Green he's going to put in here. This is like, actually Mark put this together over about the last year, finding the best greens. It's got like 14 different things in it. Full complete proteins, your oils, and so you're really trying to in the morning not only just have tea or coffee, but you want to have some food and some nutrition, because coffee and just tea by itself, remember, gives you power, but it sort of fools you because it robs your system of a lot of stuff because there's nothing in it.
Particularly coffee, and that's why we put this together. Yerba Mate has 3 times the antioxidants of green tea. It has a lot of,
It just has a lot of things that basically are way better for you than coffee, and it helps you evacuate. And it doesn't make you, see, this is the big thing. I have like 2 tablespoons of this every day because it's hard to find all the greens together and everything. And when you, well, you got some dust up you. and now you got to watch that because it's such fine powder.
It is. And, oh, okay. You better talk for me.
That's good.
This is a classic. I should have known better than to take a deep inhale when I open this bag up. But we have both chlorella and spirulina.
All the
hemp
grasses.
protein and brown rice protein and all the green grass.
Alfalfa, oat grass,
barley grass, wheat grass. So what we're going to do, and this is the base formula once again, is a tablespoon of Ultimate Green Protein.
And 0 calories. Remember, what we're really trying to do, remember, your morning.
Oh, and it's sweetened with stevia because we don't do any sugar.
0 calories. And what you're really trying to do is cut down on your sugar. And if you are going to use sugar, use the sugars that still have minerals in them. Don't use white sugar, and don't use at all ever any type of chemical sugars. And you can actually look that up on the internet and find out that fake sugars, chemical sugars, or just sugars that aren't real, really they pervert your signals because your body thinks it's sweet and it's actually a chemical. And if the chemicals sort of like went through your body and didn't get stuck and didn't get, sort of like stuck in your filters, then maybe they wouldn't be so bad. But sugar, see, what happens, once you get off these chemicals, because they may change your taste buds to make it so this stuff won't taste as good in the beginning. So add a little more stevia. You can even add a little more of the palm sugar. I use sometimes, like you're going to use here, mesquite pod, lucuma, agave, the clear agave with inulin. But what you're trying to do is transform your sugar down to sweetness, but 0 calories, because that's what makes us sick, is a lot of sugar.
What I want to interject at this point is that there's many variations of this. There's no one way to do this. It's kind of like tonic alchemy or liquid alchemy. You're going to put this together, and there's so many components, but there's no one way to do it. There isn't.
Okay, so the simple one is so simple. You just do the 3 ingredients. You put the tea in. You put in a scoop, even 2 of the greens, and then I put in like a big scoop or 2 of this oil. Remember, you need 10 pounds of oils just to regenerate your liver. It has to be good oils. We're not talking fats. We're talking good oils. And your skin, your brain, everything thrives off of oil. It needs it as a lubricant and also for regenerational status. Silicon he's got in his hand here. This is the missing component in most of our foods. So I put in like a tablespoon of this twice a day just to catch up on your support of silicon, because most people, there is no real levels of silicon that's at the level we should have for, remember, silicon is very special for regeneration of hair, skin, nails, nerves, brain, all things that are fleshy and move, nerves, that's very important. Fulvic acid he's putting in there. I put in 3, 4, 5 drops in there to emulsify and to dissolve a lot of the oils, because what this does is it makes it all so it actually blends together. You can take your salad dressings, the ones that are still good for you, put 3, 4, 5 drops of fulvic acid, put it in the magnetic blender. You can see how to make that, and buzz it up for about a minute on high, and that thing holds in solution and binds it all together.
So again, explain the purpose of the magnet.
Well, the magnets, what it does, he's putting in magnesium now. We're adding some magnesium to be able to add to the magnesium, because in the morning you use your brain, you need magnesium. The magnets, what they do is, well, you'll see on the magnetic blender, just to be able to explain that, but what it does is it takes the particles and mushes and mishes everything around to be able to make it so the particles are breaking down and more particles under high-level magnetics. These ones pull on this side, these ones push, so I can push the blender. This one pulls on this side, so it makes basically a biphasic vortex. I explain more on the magnetic blender, but when he blends this up right now, just by doing this, this is your base drink. I like to put in also chia seeds because of the bulk, and when you get done with it, I also sometimes put some macaroons and some cacao on top, and that's about it. This is the basic version.
This is the base formula. So you're getting a coffee replacement, which is yerba mate, which is actually not robbing your body of minerals like coffee does, and actually providing you with antioxidants. And then we have the nutrition, which is the ultimate green protein, which we've already explained the different components in it, and then a really good fat. As Dr. Cassar explained, you need the fats.
You know, one thing I want to interject, because this is important. I've got a lot of questions, a lot of people, a lot of things we're doing is just because of the questions that are being asked to us. Yerba mate, do not use the smoked version. If you've ever been to these countries where they smoke it, they don't smoke it sometimes with types of woods and different things you'd think would be, really cool. Pallets and just different types of materials that just are not good. So you want unsmoked material, because in the smoked material, if you look it up, you'll see it has polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and that's not good for your stomach wall. It's very irritational for your stomach. And if you have any stomach problems, this is going to really help your stomach. Try to get away from coffee, because coffee, we'll show you on another version how to neutralize it and stuff, but this is way better for you because it's got more caffeine than the coffee that you think is giving you the because it gives you in 3 hours down, and you need another cup of coffee because your adrenals are dry.
I've never known yerba mate to crash you or give you the jitters. You really, really overdo it.
And you only have 1 cup a day if you can. Remember, you're really trying to go ahead and do the rest of the of this one here.
I've just been waiting. I wanted to wait because you had good things to say. So now, my favorite version, again, is to me, it's the answer to both an instant breakfast and a coffee drink like at your favorite coffee house that has the mocha, frappos, or whatever the case may be. So the next component I put in there is some cacao powder.
You know, and just to add one more thing too, we use glass here for a reason. You know, when you go to like any of the coffee shops, bring your own glass with you, because the last thing you want to do is use the cup possibly they're using, which is petroleum based, and you put this very hot liquid in with usually a top that's a number 7 or worse, number 5, or any of these recycled plastics. The heat shrinks it, and you'll notice that the plastic gets weird. The cup gets all soft, and the materials from the cup go into no matter if it's organic, schmorganic. Now the materials are perverted, so try to use glass. Even if you're going to coffee houses, bring your own cup with you. So that's just another intervention. A lot of the things we're doing here is not just showing you recipes. There's actually reasoning behind this, because it's sort of a hard road to catch on to a new lifestyle. And so this is sort of like a way to kickstart you. Then you do it yourself the way you want to, but try a couple of the ways we're doing these.
Absolutely. So we have about 16 ounces of fluid, by the way, of yerba mate, and now we're adding a heaping tablespoon of cacao powder. And Robert, maybe you want to explain the active ingredient that so many people love. It activates the heart chakra, makes people feel good. The active ingredient in here is what, Robert?
Yeah, no, the active ingredient basically is you've got theobromine. There's no caffeine in here, remember? We're trying to cut down on caffeine, especially acidic caffeine, because it makes it jittery, versus alkaline caffeine. So what we also use here too is I put in about a 1/4 teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate in my water while I'm making my tea to take away a lot of the acidic of acids and so forth, because your body has to consume or as it consumes this acid, it has to neutralize the acid. So the cacao has 26% fat. We're putting oils, okay? No sugars really. It's the oils and these types of high-level nutrient minerals, and it's very highly bioavailable because of the fulvic acid and because the shilajit is putting in.
Shilajit. Now this is the part that makes it taste like coffee. So what we're making is like a coffee mocha with the cacao powder, the organic cacao powder, and the shilajit mineral pinch, which is an Ayurvedic herb. It's the king of Ayurvedic herbs. So this is the component that's really going to give it the coffee
Gives it a really good flavor.
It really does. So you're getting minerals. It has a detoxifying properties to it as well.
And they're plant minerals. Remember, we're trying to get plant minerals in our body. See, think of like this is crystal, and this is made out of pure silicon and oxygen. But in order for you to get silicon, you got to get a version that's either broken down, like our living silica, or get some, maybe if you live in an area, like we have 5 acres of bamboo in the back, you can use a handful of bamboo leaves and leach it out and stuff. But silica is very hard, and it's necessary for us, and if you don't have it in your body, you can't regenerate. Remember, look it up. You'll see silica and minerals are what keep us all going, along with a variety of oils, and the sugars are not what's needed. Sugars, if you got sick and you went to a doctor that actually sort of knew what they were doing, the first thing they say to you is cut down the glucose, cut down the sugar. So this is not only this coffee for, switching over to Yerba Mate, which will help you evacuate, not irritate your gut wall, but it's this super mineralized foods and mineralized liquid that you're going to have that's going to actually null your appetite. The cacao powder and the shilajit cuts your appetite down. So this is not only just breakfast, but it's also a sort of like a cleansing, because there's, the videos sometimes are a little long because we do a little explanation, but this drink has the 3 triads of health in it. The first triad is dissolve some things in your body that you've accumulated in the past. So it's got shilajit, it's got all these different helping detoxificational things. The tea, okay? The second is to wash things out. You need to dissolve some things. You need to, of course, it makes sense. You've got to dissolve things, wash them out, and then once you make space, re-nutrify. So you can't fill your gas tank up if it's full, so this makes sense. And this drink has it all in here. So this gets you on your way, not just about an hour or 2. This will last you, if you wanted to, all day.
Most of the day, and that's why we're calling it a breakfast elixir, because an elixir, the alchemy of the mystique of an elixir or alchemy is that it pretty much does everything.
Now he's putting in the green coffee extract. Remember, you want to run your engines. The last one we showed you was the simple one. Now this is Mark's favorite morning drink. He puts all this stuff together. It only takes him 5 minutes. It's a little long right now, but this is the green coffee bean extract that is totally different than coffee because it hasn't been cooked,
hasn't been corrupted. It's in its original integrity. It's to kickstart your engine, basically, get your metabolism going. It's known very much to burn fat. So
that's what it does. It increases, what I found out, it increases metabolism. And you can see, look, I have tons of fat in my diet, tons. Okay,
you're not fat.
Yeah, you would think, okay, yeah, you would think that all the fats that I have, that I would be fat. And I'm not. You can see through my skin. These are the foods that in time your body really likes, but in the beginning you'll see you'll have to transform yourself a layer at a time. But
I'm making more so for all of us.
Yeah, we're going to have this afterwards too, of course. We don't just make these and throw them out. This is sort of what we call our breakfast tea, but we're gonna knock down 2 coconuts with one
With one stone.
with one stone. So
We
I'm
don't
gonna
kill
have
any
some.
birds.
I'm gonna have some of this because I'm hungry.
Here's our next component. I love this stuff.
Mucunas for the brain. Okay, you want to get clear. You want to be sort of what you call very active in your mind. Mucuna is one of the most amazing herbs that you could put in your morning drink. Okay, it activates a lot of brain chemicals, and it has a lot of brain chemicals in it.
And
so
we have a teaspoon of that in here as well.
And, one of the biggest problems you'll see in the United States is depression. 50 million people take Prozac, Zoloft, or Paxil. I don't make these numbers up, but that's a significant amount of people that are depressed. And depression usually means you have probably poisoning, nickel, arsenic, thallium, plastic, something clogged up. So a lot of the things we're putting in here, like the Shilajit, the fulvic, not only are we not polluting ourselves with a lot of weird stuff, like the plastic I told you in the containers, or the acid that's roasted in the coffee. When you roast things, you actually bring out more acid sometimes. So that's why the green, you're still getting your coffee, remember, but now it's raw, and it's going to be in a form that is not, like Mark said, perverted. It doesn't make you nervous.
It only has pluses and no minuses.
You'll notice that the best coffees in the world are not sold here. We know, we're in the food business. The best coffees in the world are sold to Europe, and those are the ones that aren't bitter. These are the coffees that are of what you'd call elite. So the way we really try to, eat in this world is really by our flavor. And this here tastes so good, and all you have to do is manipulate the amount of sugar, which is the stevia, or if you want to use sugar, then I would use, like I said, maybe a little palm sugar, a little agave.
Better that stevia.
Better if you can, but remember, you do have yeast, mold, and fungus in your body. You can't just cut them off. You got to feed them because, this is a slow transformation, but this drink will do it for you. Go ahead, you can just rip them through there.
Absolutely. But I wanted to interject one last thing about the yerba mate for those that don't know. This is the coffee in Brazil and Peru and Argentina. This is what they drink as coffee. And I'm not throwing us under the bus here in America, but this is a much smarter way to get your energy in the morning because of what it gives to you instead of what takes away.
As long as it's unsmoked.
It's smart.
As long as it's unsmoked.
Right.
And if you want more kick, remember, you put the fulvic acid in, and immediately it turns darker because it leaches more stuff out. That's why you boil it. That's why you sit overnight. So now he's got the maca.
This is wonderful stuff.
This stuff here, as you'll notice if you look it up, it has to do with feeding your glands. We also not only want to feed our body, but we want to feed our glands and our brain. The mucuna feeds the brain. The maca, these are like sort of glandular foods that really, when you look at it, see, your body doesn't run your body. Your glands run your body. So if your glands don't get nutrition too, then your body, remember, doesn't know what to do because the glands tell it what to do.
We're going to do about a tablespoon of this.
I love maca. I put maca every day.
One of my favorites.
And that's one of the things I notice as far as, because I like strength, and that's one of the things with tribulus and a few other of these herbs, because the herbs clean your glands or they feed your glands. Remember, your body is not in control. It's your glands that are in control.
One aspect of the maca is that it's known for virility, energy, and hormone stimulation. So that's one of the benefits.
And this is a raw maca. There's a gelatinized maca that's actually sort of like a cooked and different type. There's benefits to both. It's not like one's versus the other, but I like to go ahead because I can keep this tea in my refrigerator for 3-4 days. Everything in here is not going to go bad. I put it in there, refrigerator. I can pull it out tomorrow, change it up with a few other things if I want to, just by sprinkling some things. I got tea tomorrow too.
And the next component is another favorite, which is mesquite powder. It has a caramel-like flavor to it. It's flavored with benefits because it has many other properties to it as well, and it was a staple of the native Indians here in this continent of America.
Mesquite has a really good taste. What does it taste like? Sugary, not sugary, but like mesquite cookie dough.
Right. It has a cookie dough, like caramel, slightly caramel.
And this stuff
flavor
is
to it.
really hard when you see it in nature.
About a tablespoon.
The seeds are hard, so this stuff here is finely ground, and the flavor is one of the flavors that you can change over some of your sugars for lucuma, mesquite pod, and stevia. Those are some of the best ways because the flavors are still excellent. And if you want to use sugars, just use a little bit of sugar then.
Now how about this?
I know,
Now
vanilla.
this is the good. Now we're getting to the good
Yeah.
parts. This is real ground vanilla beans.
This isn't fake vanilla. That's why this actually, do you know what it takes to grow vanilla? We've got vanilla growing outside, and it's this vine, and it's got these little pods that hang out about this big, and they've got just a couple of little pieces in there, and you say, you know, no wonder this stuff is so sacred. Vanilla is not just its flavor, but it has a lot of super benefits with mineralized. Look how dark it is.
Definitely. It's a rich, dark look, and it has such a
This gives it the mocha flavor with
floral-
the
floral
shilajit.
flavor, like a bouquet. It's really.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put like a heaping tablespoon in there.
Only because if you use vanilla, you love it.
I feel like doing 2 today, so.
Yeah, if you use it, you love it. No, it really is, because it actually makes this so you'll want it tomorrow again. He drinks this every day, pretty much the same thing every day. Do you get tired of it?
I don't get tired of
No.
it. And I don't need anything else. That's the nice thing. I'm
I
low
have-
maintenance now. I mean, yes, there's a lot of components here, but I don't need a lot.
It just takes in the morning. Remember, this is just going through. We're also giving you a little sort of reasoning along with, he's putting in oils now. Remember, there's 0 sugars or sugars that are very low level. Now we're putting in the oils, hemp seeds, a lot of good oils in the hemp seeds. Each one of these seeds, you remember, each seed is, oh, people say, do you have to sprout or do you have to soak your hemp seeds? No, these seeds have been cracked. Each little seed has been cracked in half, and the inside of the shell is what you see is basically the super nutrient part of the seed.
Omega-3s and 6s, proteins, and I put 3 tablespoons.
Huge amount of protein. Remember, this has way more than steak and eggs in the morning because it's a soluble type of protein that actually is good protein, because you can have more protein and take it in, but it's bad protein and it's really not assimiable. So your body gets stuffed up.
Now we're going to throw some
the
cinnamon powder.
This
Now,
is the-
in the spirit of breakfast, in our breakfast drinks, you got to go with some cinnamon powder, and it's not just for flavor, but again, there are nutritional
Super
and medicinal
parasitical benefits with this. The flavor, there's very few things that are good for you that
See, about
tastes
it,
good.
I personally I like a teaspoon, and this much. This will serve about two people right here, 2 to 3 people, depending on how much they want to have. But I put about a teaspoon in there.
Put some Soleil salt also in there. And you can see the Soleil salt that he's spraying in there is a new invention here. These are all halite and the salt crystals that we fill with in alkalized water. We put magnesium, silicon, we have a video on this, and we fill the rest up with our concentrated blue-green that we brewed for a day or so before, and now we've got high magnesium, high pH, and I actually put a chili or 2 in there, full of silicon, the best salt in the world. Actually, you want to put the sweet version?
Yeah. Well, I know that
2
we're going to need
versions with
stevia
this.
in this. We're
Yeah.
going to need some stevia in this because there's not a lot, since I didn't get a lot of the ultimate grade
Liquid,
protein in there, and there's a lot of liquid. So I would say about a quarter teaspoon.
Quarter teaspoon.
Of
Remember, that stuff
stevia.
is way more strong, way more sweet than sugar.
This is the stevia leaf. This is unprocessed. It's just the whole leaf ground down.
That's why it's green. Most of the stevias that you see, you wouldn't believe what it takes to put things sometimes in a liquid. Like a lot of the oils they're not distilled with steam, but they're removed with ethers and petroleum. So you got to really watch a lot of the different products and the bags. All these bags are bisphenol A free. You don't throw them out. You reuse them. Wash them out. Okay, Mark's going to give it the blend job here. If you're using a Vitamix, make sure when you shut it off to turn it all the way down and put the high on low, because if not, if someone else unsuspecting notices, boom, they'll use and it'll go all over the ceiling, all the way to the top, because this thing's got some high power.
Whichever one you want to use.
I'm going to go ahead and give a sample of each, because you're going to want to taste it too, I'm sure. So give me a little. I'm just going to get a sample here.
Not bad. This is a smack in our lips.
Well, the oils are so good. Remember, it's raw, so sometimes cooked food, when you taste it, it's all sort of mixed together because all the things, the electrons are speeding up and all the food sort of interlaces with you. So when you taste this, see, to me, this is incomplete because I put at the top, This is how I have mine, because we didn't finish it really, because I put garnishes. I put goji berries.
Well, we can do
and
that
golden
still.
berries.
We'll do the finished version, but
But the base is badass.
I'm in the mood. Throw in some more cacao right now. I am. A little more cacao and a little bit more. I like shilajit.
I usually put in like a hand in the morning, 2 times a week, because you really don't want to do a lot of cacao, of the cacao nibs. The powder you can do every day because it's not really got a lot of the like what you'd call concentrated form of cacao. The powder's more flavorful, and you know the cacao is very strong and very powerful. So you'll notice some people that haven't had the cacao nibs before, and you put a big handful in there, you may be going to the bathroom a few times because it's a super detoxification, because it's got more antioxidants and more different things called polyphenols than most other foods there are that you'll ever touch. And polyphenols are in the green teas, they're in the cacao, they're in a lot of things that we're putting in here, and the polyphenols clean you quick.
Yep.
So if you do have to go to the bathroom, just know that
It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
yeah, and you don't want to put in, you know, remember this is superfood, so you want to, after this, you drink lots of liquid after you finish this to help it wash through. And you can manipulate this any way you want to.
Absolutely. I mean, just it's all about your intuitive, being intuitive with making these things and tuning it to what you like. I hate recipes.
Okay, so just to finish this off real quick, what I do, I love these coconut shavings. They come in macaroon style and the bigger shaving sizes, and I just sprinkle the top here because this is wunderbar, this smell. Okay, and then I put golden berries, which I love. You don't really need the sugars. You can add to the flavor a little bit at a time, and look how beautiful it becomes.
Important reminder. All information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.